Matters, a monthly series produced by MARC, Inc. of Manchester, that focuses on people with disabilities, their successes and challenges to live, work, and enjoy their community. My name is Mary Gonzalez, in for Thomas McCann, and I will be the host today. We will talk to Peter Engelbrecht, the residential director. Hi.
Good morning, Mary.
Good
Thanks
morning.
for having me.
You're welcome. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
That's great. I have some questions that I wanted to ask you. First question, how long have you been at MARC?
It doesn't seem possible, but it's already been 18 years in the fall. So this is my 19th year here at MARC Incorporated.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
How do you like MARC?
I like it very much. I really enjoy my time here.
That's great. How are you involved, or how did you become involved in MARC?
Well, basically, many years ago, I was running a restaurant in town here, and I had people from MARC working for me at the time. And that's how I first heard about MARC Incorporated and learned about its services. When we had training issues with some of our folks and people were learning some new things, we'd put a call into the main office and people would come over and they would help train our folks. And that was my first introduction to MARC Incorporated, and I had such positive interactions at that time that when it came time for me to find something different to do, I came to MARC, and I've been here ever since.
That's excellent. What positions have you held at MARC?
Well, when I first started off, I was an employment specialist, and I used to work second shift. So that was a change for me. And as time went on, I worked first shift, training people at a variety of job sites. I've been all over the state training our folks, and really enjoyed my time doing that. Went from there to employment coordinator and spent some time with some more administrative duties. Then went into quality assurance, and I really enjoyed my time there because I was able to spend a lot of time working with families as well as individuals, and doing a lot of collaborative work with DDS, and I really enjoyed my time there. So, and since then, I've been a residential director.
Oh, that's wonderful. When were you appointed residential director position?
It's been about 8 months now. Been about 8 months, and I'm learning something new every day.
Oh, you are, so you must enjoy your job and what you do.
I really do. I enjoy it quite a bit. There are a lot of challenges with it, but it was something that I had never done in all my years at MARC Incorporated. I always been on the employment end, and then a lot of the quality assurance end. So really residential was something that I had never done before. So I'd had some experiences with it, but never gotten into it fully. So now that I'm there, I'm enjoying it, and something new every day.
That's great. What are your how many residents do you currently support?
Currently, we have 48 residents that we support in the residential department.
Okay. What types of housing options do you offer?
What we mainly offer is supported living options, but we also have CLA group homes. We have 2 CLA group homes, and supported living, though, is our main focus, and those can be folks who don't require a lot of support, maybe get 4 hours per day, and we also have 24-hour living arrangements where folks need a greater level of care.
Okay. When you say supported living, do you mean residents in their own apartments, or is there, like, when you say CLA, are those like group homes?
Right. CLA are group homes, and those are called certified living arrangements. And basically, there's a higher level of training that goes on with the folks that are there, the staff that are there. Many of the people who are in group homes may have greater challenges, so they have greater needs for supports. Where supported living is people live in their own apartments. They can be either 2 folks living. We have some people living just by themselves with staff. And we also have people living in 3-people living arrangements. So it's really based on individual choice, what people want to do. When we discuss with people different moves that are going on, people are very free to say, I'd rather live with this individual. I really get along great with this person. We have a lot of the same interests. I'd really like to move in with this person here. And I know that currently you're looking for a new housemate, right?
A new housemate,
Yeah.
yes. I am. I've been affiliated with you guys, with Mark, for about, in August, it'll be 5 years.
Have you enjoyed your time with us?
I love it.
Great.
I love it. I love it. And the people that work with me and the people that are interacted with me are very positive. And it's great because you don't have to feel uncomfortable with the people around you, and and you actually open up. You open up to people. You'd be surprised on how much you open up to people that are affiliated with you. And I think that MARC's an excellent organization. They care about and they want to help their people with their goals, and they work with them and they don't criticize them. And if there's something that they do wrong, that the residents do wrong, they don't yell or scream at you.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I really like, especially once support staff come into a home and they get to know the people living there, it becomes much less of a staff resident type of thing. It really becomes a relationship, a friendship. And I know that you're very close to your support staff.
Yeah.
And we find that to happen in many of our homes.
Yes. What's the difference between a CLA supported living and regular supported living?
CLA generally, again, has a higher level of training, and there's more support there. There are more people are really there all the time. Although we do have 24-hour supported living arrangements as well. But basically, supported living, at its inception, people really had the ability to live with a higher degree of independence. So folks, maybe only needed help with their going out and getting their banking done, meal preparation, maybe some routine chores around the house if people needed support. And it's based on individuals' needs. Some people do a great job with their banking, a far better job than I do with it. My own checkbook, my wife's always complaining about how I'm making mistakes with the checkbook. But some people's skills are great with that. And again, it's very much based on individual need. Maybe some people, their favorite thing is not to clean their house or their apartment. And if that's the case, then support staff will help them with that type of thing. And maybe it's not their favorite task, but it's also the opportunity to teach people some life skills. Many of our residents would prefer to learn about cooking, and that can be as easy as putting ingredients in a dish and mixing it together, learning how to operate the microwave. Some routine cooking tasks, and that's many of our people do enjoy that aspect, learning to do some cooking. Some people don't; they'd rather have somebody help them cook all their meals, and that's fine too.
Okay, how are families? How do you help the residents achieve their goals and dreams?
Well, basically, every year there's an individual plan process, which you've been a part of, and at that time, we sit down with the case manager, family members, advocates. Obviously, the person served is the key component of the whole meeting. At that time, it's the team approach, and the individual says, well, this is really what I'd like to do. Maybe I'd like to go on vacation in the coming year. Possibly I'd like to spend more time getting to the library so I can get out books and movies and that sort of thing. And we can then write that down in the IP, and that really gives the support staff a roadmap to go off of so that they can plan the services to help people meet their dreams and their goals.
How do you determine the levels of supports given to an individual?
Again, it's all based on individual need. I know in my years here at MARC Incorporated, I've seen people's need level change as people are aging. People have different needs for different support systems at this point. Maybe people who were once able to get around very easily on their own now need a greater level of support. So at that point, assessments would need to be made, and that gives us, again, a direction to go to provide additional supports. But again, as people are aging, it's more nursing needs, medical needs, that sort of thing. And again, based on individual needs. Some people are very young and healthy. I've got an individual in my program who's 90 plus years of age, and this individual gets up and goes bowling all the time, is very active in the community. So that's great, and their support level matches their needs. We have some other people who are maybe younger, but maybe have trouble getting around the way that they did when they were younger. So then we would have to ramp up our services there to make sure that people are safe and kept healthy.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So you being a residential staff, or excuse me, a residential director.
I'm both.
You're both. Now, do you have any interaction, do you have one-on-one with residents? Do you go to their houses?
Do I myself?
Do you yourself?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the focuses, I think, of this department is knowing your people and really knowing what's going on with their lives. And the only way you're going to know that is by getting out into the residences, getting out into the homes, being a presence there. And it's not on a day-to-day basis, but I like to get out there quite often, just to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on out there. I have 4 very able coordinators who work under me. They do a fantastic job, and they really are the ones who make sure the day-to-day operation is running very smoothly.
So when the coordinators aren't available, or they're sick, or they're not able to go to a resident's house, what role do you play in that?
Well, we also have an assistant director, Sue Pearson, and she and I basically coordinate services at that point. So we have people who frequently go on vacations and go spend time with their families. So at that time, we have a plan put into place to provide coverage during the time that the coordinators are away. And if something happens then, basically we're the people who are coordinating the services. And
are there ways that if the resident is in need, say if there's an emergency that arises, does the residents have how can they communicate with you guys?
We have very good emergency plans put into place should anything happen of that type. And also a nice aspect really is, and you probably know it from your own living arrangement where you live, neighbors keep an eye on things that are going on. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
So I think that's a great benefit of having our folks out in the communities and not living in places such as institutions. Is it neighbors are keeping an eye or staff are keeping an eye? It's really the community involvement. That's really one of the wonderful benefits about having folks out and about in the way it should be.
Yeah. I think that when the residents when they have their own apartment, they feel as if they're on their own, and they feel like they're independent, and the neighbors get to know you really well.
Absolutely.
In my situation, I'm getting to know my neighbors more, and they're getting to know me as well. So we also, so that's a good aspect on how the people in the community can be
really involved.
Sure.
Sure.
With MARC.
Absolutely. And you see that you live with a very high level of independence because you have great skills and a zest for life and just do wonderfully. There are some people who, when they first started with MARC Incorporated, they had many of those same capabilities where they were able to live with a great degree of independence. As time has progressed, maybe their physical needs have grown greater. So at that point, we would start looking for housing options that would better meet their needs, and whether that is moving from a place that has 2 stories as opposed to a single floor, which is easier to get around, having things like accessible bathtubs in the bathrooms, that sort of thing. Living on 1 floor is a great help for our folks who are older and can't get up the stairs the way they used to in their younger days. So that's really we tailor the services to the needs of our individuals.
Very interesting. How are families involved with residential services?
Well, family involvement is something that we really cherish, and it's something that we really want to grow. Families really want to be involved. That's the big thing. Families want to be there together, and they want to see that it be their child, their son or daughter, their brother, their sister, their cousin, their uncle. They want them to do well. They want them to succeed in life and derive all the great benefits that we do in community living. So really what we try to do is we encourage that as much as possible. And again, that's through inviting people to the IP process or the 6-month review. But really, our family members drop into the office at any time and make it a point to be known. And we reach out to family members too. Some of our family members live on the other side of the country. Some people live in California, and that always makes it tough to have contacts done. But really, what we do, we have a commitment to keeping that going. And it can be as simple as when we have a meeting, if a person lives 2,000 miles away and they can't get to a meeting, then we would conference call them into it so that they can still be involved in people's lives. It's very, very important because we have a multi-year relationship with you, but really it's going to be your aunt who really knows you very, very well.
Right.
And I believe we know you very well too, but your aunt may bring something to the table that we don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's really why it's very important.
Right. So you build up you guys build up a relationship with the parents as well as the residents.
Absolutely. Parental involvement, it can't be stated enough because really we work in collaboration with everybody, and parents, family members, DDS case managers, support staff. Think how many people are involved in your life. I mean, I'm sure you have a very rich tapestry of
Yes.
people who are involved and spend time with you and want you to succeed. And that's great. That's the way it should be. I know there are a lot of people in my life who want the same thing.
Yes.
So, and that's the natural progression of how it should be.
That's wonderful. Now, you talked about CLA, supported living. Now, do you have any CLA staffing? What types of trainings do you guys give for your CLA staff?
Okay.
And supported living staff?
Really, we provide trainings for our staff year round. We have a gentleman who takes care of coordinating that, and he's got quite a lot of work to do because we're constantly putting new trainings on his desk for him to input into our computer system. So he's a busy guy. But when people come in, as part of their orientation process, they receive CPR and first aid training right off the bat. That's something that's been newly implemented. Before you had a period of time before you needed it, but now that's brought in right at the orientation, so people have it right when they start. After that, we would really look to be having people med certified so that people can pass medications. That's another neat area that we're seeing more and more. Again, as people are getting older, possibly people had the ability to self-dispense their own medicines. And as people are getting older, some people are having some trouble and some challenges with that. So really med certification for our staff is something that we see as very important, and keeping up with that certification. We also have PMT training, and that's really just strategies for dealing with challenging behaviors if some people have them. Many people don't, but anybody can get into a situation where they're frustrated and they're upset and that sort of thing. But again, this just gives people some ideas for strategizing on that. In addition to that, we do trainings, house trainings all the time. We do agency trainings all the time. In-services, classes, it's just busy. That whole piece of it is busy. We really believe that knowledge for our staff is going to help our staff provide the very best and highest quality services to our people. And once people are given those tools, they're just able to go with it.
Now, for people who are interested in getting a job at MARC, how do they go through the process? Can they come to the office, or can they call, or how is that?
Absolutely.
Process?
We've got a couple of ways to do that, actually. Many people just stop by the office and get an application and fill it out, and then also add in their resume. I believe we can do it also online at our MARC website, which is a nice option for a lot of people. That's basically how we hear about things. And a lot of our staff, it's through word of mouth. And you know, I was very gratified to hear how much you enjoy your support staff. And I think really support staff talk to each other, or they talk to their friends, say, hey, gee, I work at MARC Incorporated, and I really have enjoyed my time there, and I enjoy the work that I do. Why don't you go and put in an application there? So really word of mouth is a great way to get good staff. And that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for very highly motivated people who have good hearts and who really want to come and help people succeed in life. Those are really the cornerstones of what we're looking for support staff.
Now, is there any other, when people get hired to work as MARC staff, do you guys have a process? Like, do you guys do a
review process?
A review process?
Sure. We have a very stringent review process at this point. We do mandatory drug testing for new applicants when they come in, pre-employment physical. We also do a background check on folks. We do a sex offender check on folks to make sure they're not on the registry. We also do the DDS registry to make sure they're not on that. And we're checking references for folks that they're putting down. And I've had many applicants come in, and after they've done the paperwork, they're very surprised and say, "Wow, this is quite a bit of checking that you're doing," and they're impressed, really. That I think it really raises the professionalism of our staff when they see this and they know we're really serious, and we're checking on the backgrounds of our staff, and we're looking for the highest qualified staff who are motivated to do what we ask them to do. And generally, we have excellent staff. I would hold our staff up against any other staff in the state as far as the quality of services they provide.
Interesting. What type of staff support is needed for community activities?
Again, that's based on individual needs. Some of our folks are able to go out in groups of 2 or 3 with their friends, basically the same as anybody else would go out with their friends. Some of our folks who may possibly use wheelchairs, that sort of thing, they need a higher level of support. They may need a special van, need staff to help them through all sorts of transfers and that sort of thing. It's based on, again, on individual need. I've gone out on many times with Special Olympics with 15 people, and you know, it's a fun time. And our cameraman back there has been doing some of that with us in the past, and just had a great time. So
that's great. What? So you must. That's wonderful. How could someone become? How can someone become a resident in your service?
Well, it's usually a referral process. Is that there is an individual indicates a need that they need residential services, so they would put that into our agency, and we would look at the folks and see if they fit our services well. Also, there are some there have been emergency intakes where somebody's life situation has been such that they need immediate residential services, and we're able to provide that too on as needed.
Okay. Is there a waiting list for your services?
I don't think there's a waiting list per se. I know there are a lot of people knocking on the door at MARC Incorporated saying, hey, we've heard really great things about the program, and we'd really like to be part of MARC Incorporated. So I think we're a little constrained by the physical size. I really would like to see us get bigger as we move forward. And I see that coming. I really see we've got a building campaign, so I see that really coming. I see good things ahead for MARC Incorporated.
Awesome. What are some challenges you face as residential director?
I would say because our staff are so spread out, communication is the main challenge that we face. Really getting people together as often as we'd like to be able to talk about the things that we need to talk about. That's a continuing challenge for us, and it's just because we're so spread out. It's not like a regular 8 to 4 job where everybody is there in one building. It's very easy to get people together to talk about things. We're constantly making phone calls to folks. We're at all different hours. Residential services start at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and they go to 8 o'clock the next morning, and we're 24/7. We're a department that runs 24/7 basically. Except for the 30 hours that people have day program services, and people who don't have those day program services, we're probably picking up that piece as well. So that's the main challenge for us, and it's something that we work on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Okay. What are your plans for the residential department in the next few years?
Well, we have 48 individuals right now. I feel that's a pretty good number for our agency, but moving forward, we may like to see that number increase. I'd like to see some younger folks come in who are maybe coming just from high school and that sort of thing. I'd like to see that age group. We don't have a lot of experience with that. We've got a lot of folks who are my age, contemporaries of mine. So some younger folks, I think, would be an interesting challenge for us.
That's great. So this is really wonderful in what you're doing, and you must love doing this, being with interacting with the residents and the staff, and having that. You might not say that residents may not be like your children, but it's like you're like you do.
They're all my friends. I would consider them all my friends.
Right, all your friends.
Because we've had such a relationship through the many years, and I've seen people succeed in so many things, be it whether their work, succeeding in their living arrangements, succeeding in Special Olympics. Really, I've been able to witness so many wonderful things that have been happening here. I really appreciate you taking the time to have me down today and spend some time with you, Mary. It was great. I appreciated the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, we are out of time for this month's show. I would like to thank Peter Engelbrecht for joining us today. If you'd like more information on MARC Inc. of Manchester, please visit us at www.marct.org. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.